Hi, my name is Esnoctilius, or rather, it's one of my many names. Eclipse, Esme, Esmeralda, Luna, Sages, Lucian, the list goes on. Today, I'm here to talk about my experience with OSDD or DID. My psychiatrist hasn't fully determined which one yet, but she gave me the okay to start saying I have either one. So, there's that at least, someone who finally believes me. Um, anyway, I want to preface this with this is my experience, and it may not be the same or even close to the lived experience of other people with DID or OSDD. I just want to make a statement about my health and where I've been for all the people waiting for more music and art from me, because gods know I've been slacking this past year, especially so considering how much I did in 2022 to 2023 before my daughter was born. To begin, for a long time since I was in high school, I've considered I had many disorders. Autism and DID were the top contenders, and eventually psychosis became a necessary diagnosis to search for as well. When I was 14, I told my mom I wanted to be evaluated for autism, but I never mentioned the DID. I mean, who would believe me? Plus, the voices that possess me couldn't possibly be real, right? I'm just faking it. Yeah, you all saw that one coming, didn't you? Well, I got my autism DX when I was 16, so yippee, except nobody told me and my dad refuses to believe it, so, you know. That's a different can of worms than what we're opening today, though. It became apparent to me when I was 17 that the changes in my mood and personality couldn't just be my bipolar disorder, especially when none of the emotions I was feeling at those times were mine. And why was it every time I got distressed, one of those voices that I would hear would take over me? Why did I always forget everything that happened? Why can't I ever remember anything? Due dates for homework, concerts for band, all gone. I was so lost. I almost didn't make it to my marching band and winter percussion competitions on several occasions. I was lucky to remember them before it was too late. There was one concert, actually, in my senior year I didn't make because I forgot about it. I will never live that one down. Um, Important themes never stick, important events always disappear, and if I had gone to my high school graduation, I wonder if I'd ever remember it at all. It's been a very difficult journey navigating the line of reality, dissociation, and what could have been. It wasn't until I got my new psych that I started being open. As nice as my previous psych was, she just wasn't a good fit for my needs and commonly confused me with other patients. She also didn't believe me when I said I felt possessed. She blamed it on my psychosis and refused to hear me out. I know the difference between the psychosis voices and these voices. They're very different, and I can't really explain how I know the difference, though. I digress. I spend days completely sucked in by technology without remembering a thing. My brain is fried. It's bad. But this was happening before I became addicted to my phone, and if anything, it was worse before the phone addiction. At least now people can get my attention, though it's still difficult. I don't even do anything when I'm on my phone. I scroll without watching or looking directly at anything. I just scroll, and I scroll, and I scroll. And when I drive, I get stuck in my head, talking to these voices like old friends, and once the drive is over, not a single bit remains in my mind. I find things that don't belong to me. I buy things I wouldn't usually buy. I get interested in styles I'd usually scoff at. I have one alter who's into rainbow clothing. I don't know the exact name, but it's clowncore and kidcore adjacent. And then there's another one who wants to dress like a slutty jester. Don't get me started on that one. It's weird. I spend a lot of my time struggling to stay in the real world, and as much as I think I'm paying attention, I'm zoning out into oblivion. No thoughts, distorted sound, and only the vague blurriness of the world around me is visible. I keep praying for answers, for someone to believe me. I'm not lying, I swear. I want to scream so badly. I have the never-ending urge to just collapse. I thought I could just leave this as it's just my psychosis, but I knew better. I knew it was more. So, a couple weeks ago, I finally broke down. I told my psych. She told me she'd have to do more research and that DID is a highly controversial topic among psychiatrists for reasons I actually can't remember anymore. However, she told me that if it helps me with my imposter syndrome and my autistic need for an explanation, I am free to start saying I have DID. That leads me to today, where I finally admit to everyone that I haven't been my best, and my time lapse is so extreme that literally tonight, when my fiance texted me and asked me where I was, I thought it was 10:30 at night, and it was already 12 o'clock. So I had to rush to pick him up because I completely lost time. It just disappeared. I promise I'm working on things. I swear I have. But I've been slow. I've been afraid. I've been lost. And I don't have any excuses. I just have explanations. And while I spiral downhill, I've begun a search into therapists for DID in my area that take my insurance. Gods know it's difficult because I have Medicaid. I can only hope that someday I'll be able to remember everything with ease. That being said, I don't mind being a system. I would just like more cooperation and less fights and less memory loss. If they could at the very least be more willing to be functional, that would be great. I don't want to be whole again if I ever was, even though others around me have said that should be my goal. I just want to be functional. That's all I want. That's all I really have to say though. May this be a lesson to all that you should trust your gut instincts with enough research. If you're wrong, but it never hurts to check. And if nobody believes you, try until you find someone who does, because you're worth more than being left behind. Thank you for your time. Please take care of yourselves, and thank you for listening to me today. Bye-bye.